the Niners' plan for Deebo.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this ever since I saw how they used him against the Jaguars. They just played him at running back straight up, and they wouldn't stop. They gave him 2 targets. They gave him, I think, 8 carries, and they were giving him carries up 20-something in the third quarter between the tackles, which to me is irregular. And anytime I see something irregular in a football game, I think, So what are the Niners doing for Deebo? I have a theory. I'd like to hear. Do you want to hear mine real quick, and then we can hear you?
I think I know where you're going. They're turning him into.
Here's the problem with Deebo. He's going to be really expensive next year. If he keeps this up, he's going to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, and that'll mean he'll get like almost $20 million. And the Niners, I don't know how they feel about that. They paid Fred Warner. They usually pay the guys that they feel they developed and are just above reproach in terms of work ethic. Nick Bosa, I think they would probably pay. Fred Warner, they paid. George Kittle, they paid. Deebo, it felt like they kind of questioned his conditioning last year. And this year, the fact that they're like not managing his workload at all, that they're basically like throwing him out there as, not running him into the ground, but essentially running him into the ground, makes me feel like what they're going to do is if he gets hurt along the way, they'll probably re-sign him. Because at that point, Parag's like, oh, okay, there we go. But if he doesn't, and he has all the leverage, and he's like, I want to be the highest paid wide receiver in the league, then at that point, they will have given him so many freaking targets and touches, and his trade value would be so high, they might just be like, we got you in the second, we'll trade you for a first. What do you think?
I'm on board with that. I know when you continuously brought up Nick Bosa trades in the past, I
don't think they're going to trade Bosa. They love Bosa.
I've countered with Deebo, and I thought that
Deebo. Right.
Guy, for a couple of reasons. And the first one being I think wide receiver, it's one of the easiest positions to replace. Like think of the guys that have been drafted in the first round, they've pretty much all been successful. Like look at what the team that they're playing this week did. They traded their best wide receiver and got one.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's exactly what happened. Deebo Samuel is very unique, but you can get great receivers in round 1, round 2.
Right. You can and what wide receivers lately have really failed? CeeDee Lamb has been good. Ayuk was drafted in the first round. When he gets thrown,
he's good.
He's been
and
good.
You have Ayuk. You have Kittle. Like you have Elijah Mitchell. You have people that do what Deebo does. Not everything he does, but
yeah, like these guys in the draft in the first round, they've all been pretty successful. So I think if you're looking for assets, Deebo might be the guy.
I think he might be the guy. And I think this might have been the plan all year. Like, look, Deebo's going to be on a crazy contract push. Let's ride it. It'll be good for us. It'll be good for him. We'll give him a ton of targets. And, if he pulls it off and is the MVP and can make the argument that he should be paid as the highest paid wide receiver, great. We'll trade him and get a first round pick. And if he, gets hurt along the way or falters, then Parag will come to the negotiating table and get a good deal for the 49ers, and they'll keep Deebo long term. That's the way I see it. Because they're using him with no conscience right now. No conscience. They're being kind of judicious with Kittle. They'll give him his targets in the end zone, but they don't just throw the ball to Kittle left and right. They don't give him carries. Deebo, play running back. Okay. All right. I think it's interesting.
Continuing with the tinfoil hat thing, maybe that's why they're so hard on Ayuk, knowing that if they're going to move Deebo, they need Ayuk to be the number 1. So they
and last week he was the number 1, not Kittle. Deebo played running back. It was Ayuk. The whole passing game went through Ayuk, and he delivered. He's been delivering. Anyway, I'm just saying, don't be surprised if I feel like the Niners are trying to figure out how to get a first-round pick. They want to get all their assets back from this trade with Lance. They can get a third from trading Jimmy, but not a first. And I don't think they're going to trade Bosa. They could trade Kyle, but that's a massive reset. If Kyle's here, I think Deebo's probably the most likely one. Because from his perspective, Deebo's great, but he created Deebo. He created Kittle. He is the puppet master in his mind. So
call up the Jets who have that Seattle pick that's looking kind of nice.
Trade Deebo for number 5th pick in the draft. You can definitely do business with Seattle, right?
Yeah.
They probably want Bosa though.
I'm saying call up the Jets want Bosa.
Yeah.
No, I'd say Salah. Hey, you know what Zach Wilson could have used? Deebo Samuel.